Yes, my dear students, good evening to you all. How are you? How is everything? Hope you are doing fine. Hope things are going on well with you. So, this is the course Prose and Style. I am with you. This is Vamsidhar Kelari. I am your course instructor. I am going to give you the fourth media lecture. I am sorry we don't have virtual lectures, so I can't interact with you while I give you the lecture. So, this is recorded for your convenience. Please plug in the earphones and keep your handout with you. So what are the points or activities are there, you please underline them in your handout, because these are the handouts that would be useful for you to take your exams. So this is where with the Pearl, the novella, and in the last session we were dealing with the summary of the novella. We were almost on the verge of the summary. Then we can go to the remaining literary elements of this novella. So we are going to have the literary appreciation of this novella, the Pearl. So you know the elements, basic elements. You have already taken the course short story and introduction to literary forms. There your teachers might have introduced you the basic elements of a literary text. What is a theme? What is a plot? What is a setting? What do you mean by point of view? What are the characters? What is characterization and these things? Any literary techniques, flashback, foreshadowing, figures of speech, these things are going to be explained as part of this lecture. So these people, the wife and husband, are going to the city to sell off their one and only pearl. They thought they were cheated by the buyers, the pearl buyers in their hometown. Now they decided to go there as they found their canoe got damaged. They are going on foot, crossing the mountains, but unfortunately they had been tracked by the trackers. Now Kino has to take care of his family, and he has to reach the city to sell off the pearl. By evening, the trackers arrive at the pool where they make camp and eat. The three trackers who are following them, they arrive at the pool. There is a water pool nearby where they make a camp and eat. They cook their food over there and they eat. In the cave, Coedito grows restless and Joanna quite sing, and he is hiding in a cave with his wife and his one and only child, Coyotito. And there in the cave, Coyotito grows restless. He is crying, but anyhow, the mother knows how to pacify the kid, so she makes him quiet. Kino notices that two of the men have settled into sleep. Of all the three, already two got into, or they are dozing off, they are getting into their sleep patterns. While the third keeps watch, they made the third one as a watchman. So you sleep, when you get tired, you wake up any one of us, then in turn we will take care of all the three of us. See how calculative and how cautious they are. Kino realizes that if he can manage to stifle the lookout, Joanna and Coyotito will have a chance to escape. He doesn't have any plans to attack them, so he is looking for a chance to give them a skip. So if at all they are all sleeping, if they are careless, he can go out of the cave and escape, and he could reach the city to sell his pearl, and with that money what he gets would be giving best of education to his one and only son Coyotito. Joanna fears for Kino's life, but Kino explains that they have no other choice. So I need to go and attack them, and I need to be careful, and I need to attack. If at all I kill them, then I will be a chance to go escaped from this place. But the wife is so much worried about the safety of her husband. As Joanna prays for him, Kino slowly moves down the slope towards the pool. Now he is man of action, he is going towards the pool. His plan is to kill them, and then he can skip away from this place. He can escape from this place. He prepares to attack. And just as he points it to spring, the moon appears. Look, the luck doesn't favor him. So it was deep night, dark night, but when he was about to hit or sprang on the watchman, suddenly the moon appeared. That means now it is light. So the moon came out of the clouds. Now it became visible, and he realizes that his opportunity has been lost. He missed the chance to attack the watchman. Suddenly, Coyotito lets out a cry that wakes one of the sleeping trackers. Unfortunately, things have gone even further down. So, while there was light, Coyotito, who was restless in the cave, started crying. He's a small baby. He may be in need of the milk from his mother. And he got disturbed in his sleep, or might some of the mosquitoes might have bitten him. So, anyhow, he got disturbed. He started crying. So that disturbs the cry of the little baby disturbed one of the sleeping trackers. The watchman shoots in the direction of the cry. The bullet kills Coyotito. See the unfortunate incident. So when he cried, the watchman who is taking the guard of the remaining two got alerted. He shoot his rifle towards the place where he got the cry. In no time, the bullet shots the little boy. Kino springs upon the tiger, stabbing the watchman and seizing the rifle to kill the other two. And now he became ferocious. There is no other way except to attack them. So he springs upon the trackers. He jumps. He seized the opportunity of stabbing one of them and seizing the rifle from them. With their own rifle, he shot the remaining two. Now all the three trackers were mercilessly killed. Then he hears his wife's cry, mourning the death of Coyotito. So then, in the meantime, when he was feeling happy that he was able to kill the trackers, from the other side, from the cave, he heard the wailing sound of his wife. She was mourning. Mourning means feeling sorry for the death of the little Coyotito. The little boy had his last breath. He is no more. And the mother had started crying for the death of the little son. Until then, we have covered in the last media lecture. Now we need to move to the remaining thing. Then what happens? Later the next day, towards the sunset, Kino and Joanna walk side by the side into La Paz. Now they are going back to their place. This is the city where do they belong. What is the name of the city? La Paz. With Joanna carrying Coyotito's corpse in a sack over her shoulders. Corpse. Corpse means dead body. The mother is carrying the dead body of their one and only son Coyotito. She is carrying him over her shoulders. They walk through the city with unmoving eyes, speaking to none. They don't have any words to exchange because they have pain and suffering in their hearts. They have been swallowing all the pain within themselves. They don't like to open their mouths to anyone. Onlookers stare wordlessly. Stare means looking fixedly. Onlookers, the people who are passing through, they are also just looking at them. They are not able to have any conversation with them. And even Jonah Thomas can only raise a hand in greeting. Jonah Thomas, the brother of Kino, he too just greeted them by raising his hands, but he didn't exchange any words with them. Kino and Joanna marched through the town, past the brush houses, all the way to the sea. They are passing and passing. They passed their houses. Now they are marching towards the sea. At the edge of the water, Kino stops and pulls the pearl from his pocket. They reach to the beach. They reach to the shore of the sea, where on the edge they were sitting, and now he was taking out from his pocket the pearl, which was considered to be the costliest in the world, the most beautiful one. Holding up in the light, he stares into it carefully. He looked at it against the sunlight, and he was staring. Staring means looking fixedly. And a flood of evil memories washes over him. Evil, bad. So all the things that have passed since he got the pearl had been rolled out one after another like a camera reel before his eyes. What are the evil things that are associated with the way he was beating his wife, the way he killed the person who tried to attack him, the way he killed the three trackers, the way he lost his son. All these things have been passed before his eyes. Kino holds the pearl out in front of him and then flinges it out into the ocean. Now he took it, he looked at it, then as far as possible he threw it back to the land or to the place where it belongs to. So he threw it hard. Kino and Joanna watch the pearl, it splashes the surface. First it touches the surface of the water and then stare at the spot quietly as the sun sets. Then it has been going deep and deep into the ocean, and it went back to the place where it belongs to. It got back to his position where it has born. So by the time there was a sunset, it was the time of the dusk. So that means what he had been advised all these days by his wife, he paid no heed to her. Now he had been a man of action. So he himself threw the pearl into the sea. That is the end of the novella. This is the summary of the entire novella. So how Pearl has tried to change their lives and how they got tired of holding the pearl with them. So what is considered as an evil had been back to the waters. So now we need to explore the literary elements of this novella. Plot. What do you mean by plot? Plot is the series of events that makes the story. A plot is having a beginning, middle and an ending. A plot is just like an organic body. You represent it with Flapgard's pyramid structure. What is exposition? What is rising in action? What is climax? What is falling in action? What is denouement or resolution? So here the actions are connected with the time frame, the incidents after incidents, and these incidents will be followed by the previous results. That's why I put them in points. So these are the events that had been making. Summary is different from the plot. Summary is just you are abridging the text, and a plot is you are explaining with events, and the events are associated with the time frame. What happened in the morning, what happened in the evening, what happened in the late night, what happened after 1 month, 10 days, maybe after 1 year, or something else. Kino, Zuana and their son Coitito live in a modest house by the sea. This is the beginning of the novella. This is exposition. Exposition is flat. What do you mean by exposition? Where you introduce the basic action, where most of the important characters of the novel or novella or a short story are introduced. These three are the major characters of this novella. What are the three? Kino, Juana and Coitito. Kino is the young pearl diver and his wife is Juana, and they have one and only male child, that is Coitito. Where do they live? They live in a modest house. Modest means they don't have a luxury house, they don't have a poor house. They are contented people. They are just leading their life hand to mouth. They feel comfort with their hard work and they get their food by going into the sea, getting the pearls and the fish and so on. And where do they live? They live by the sea. They have built their house on the beach. A scorpion stinges the baby. Joanna tells Kino to take the child to the doctor. See the incidents. The first incident or the first event of the story is Joanna came to know a scorpion stinges her one and only son, Coyotito. Then she suggests her husband to take the baby to the doctor. See how clever the lady is, how strong the female character is. In the next few slides, we are going to have the analysis of the characters. We are going to explore the characterization of this novella. So while taking the plot, try to understand how the characters are presented in this novel. So Kino suggested her husband, Zuana suggested her husband Kino that we must take this baby to the doctor. Kino and Zuana rush him to the doctor in town, but the doctor doesn't meet them. He was there inside, but he doesn't like to meet them. He just passed an information that he was out in the town. Actually, he was a racist. He doesn't like to meet the people of the low birth like Kino and Zuana, and moreover, he knows that these are the poor people of the society. They can't afford his treatment. That's why even though he was there inside the hospital or clinic, he passed the message to his watchman that he was not there. Kino finds a pearl that is as large as a seagull's egg. Then they went back on their business. The baby is still crying. And then when they went to the waters, they found a big pearl. How big it is? It is as big as seagull's egg. Seagull is a wild bird that lives on the oceans, a fish-eating bird. So they got a huge pearl. The priest and the doctor visit Kino. The news of getting a pearl by Kino and Juana got reached even before they reached their place. The news of pearl has reached like a, it has got reached like a wildfire. So the first two people who visited their house are the doctor and the priest. The doctor who denied to give treatment to Coyotito, he came all the way to his place when he came to know that Kino got a pearl. Even the priest, who is a priest? Priest is the mediator between you and your God. So he is a man just trying to connect you with your God. So Prose is a name used in Christianity. Kino decides to sell the pearl to educate his son. So now he got the pearl. Now he has to go to the pearl buyers. There are the mediators who can give you good amount of money. With that money, he was dreaming he could give the best of the education to his one and only son, Coatito. Kino is attacked by strangers. On his way to go there, he was attacked by strangers. Now everybody knows that Kino has the pearl. So they are in searching of this pearl. That's why he got attacked. Kino goes to the town to sell the pearl. He got escaped from this attack in a procession followed by most of the people of his vicinity. The neighbors, they all went together to sell the pearl. Kino fails in selling the pearl because the buyers offer a very low price. They are tricky. They try to cheat him together. So that's why not to pay more money, they try to pay him only the less amount of money for the pearl. Kino knows very well it is one of the best pearls in the world. It is the most expensive pearl in the world because of its size and its appearance. So he came to know that he was duped by these buyers. So these are the incidents going one after another with a great speed. Jonah believes that the pearl is the source of all bad things that are happening to them and takes it to throw it into the sea. So Jonah is a sensible lady, logical lady, reasonable lady. That's why when Coyadito was struck by the stinges of the scorpion, it was she who suggested her husband to take the baby to the doctor. Now she was predicting something bad is going to happen because of this pearl. It's a evil. It's a pearl is the source of all bad things. It's an evil one. So we better throw it back to the sea where we got it. Kino strikes Joanna and takes the pearl. She was about to throw it, but Kino stopped her and they had the fight, and he was even hardly beating his one and only wife. He never did the like this before because when he saw her throwing the pearl back into the water, she became violently angry and he was almost handing her manually. In his way back to his house, he is attacked again and he kills a man. This is the first killing in the novella. When they were coming back from the beach and going back to their home, he was attacked by a stranger. And we don't know the name of the person, and in this duel, unfortunately, Kino killed that man. Kino's canoe destroyed and his house burnt. By the time they reached their house, they found their house was in blaze. It got burnt, and now they want to escape through a canoe. Canoe is a small boat, man-made boat, a manually made boat. It's not mechanized, it doesn't have any machines. So that got damaged. They found a big hole in the canoe. That means you can't use it in the water. Kino, Joanna and Coatito hide in Joanna Thomas' house before they set out for the capital. Who is Joanna Thomas? Kino's brother. So they were in danger. Their life was under threat. Why? Because they have the pearl. So everybody came to know that they have the pearl, so they are trying to seize the pearl from them. That's why they are taking shelter in their brother's house. Kino discovers that three trackers are following them. Now they have started to go to the capital on foot. While they are going, he came to know that three trackers, that means they are following them to kill them and to get the pearl from them. Kino attacks the trackers and kills them, but one of them shoots when Coatito cries and kills him. So Kino was wild enough to kill all the three, but in the meantime, while he was killing, Coatito cries and the watchman fired at him, and unfortunately the bullet stopped the life of Coatito. That means the couple lost their one and only child. The next day, Kino and Joanna make their way back through the town. They are not going to the capital, they are not going to sell the pearl in the city. They are going back to their own place. Joanna carries her dead son over her shoulder and they walk all the way to the sea. They are going straight to the sea, crossing all the people, crossing their places. At the shore, Kino pulls the pearl out of his clothing and with all his might means power, flings it back into the sea. That's the end of the novella. He took utmost care in throwing it as much as possible into the waters. So the pearl is at rest. The weevil had its power over on the land, but it went back to the place it had been originated. So what had been suggested at the beginning of the novella had been followed by Kino by the end of the novella. By the time, but unfortunately, he lost his vigor, he lost his life, he lost his one and only son, Coyotito. So this is the plot structure of the novella. What do you have in the plot structure? Look at this. Exposition, rising in action, the climax, falling in action, resolution. It is Flapjot's pyramid structure. If you look at the picture, it is in the format of a pyramid. Exposition is flat where you have the basic action and you get the characters introduced. Then rising in action, complications are introduced, people are getting confused, they are maybe going for misunderstanding. Climax, the most emotional high point of the text, where you are seriously reading, where you can't even turn your attention, where you are glued to the book, where you are worrying about the developments. Then falling in action, the entangled complications are getting relieved, people are realizing their colors, all the things are having their real colors, and finally the result, the resolution. What is the resolution of this novella? Finally, the couple threw back the pearl where it belongs to. So they threw it, that's the end of the novella. Stages of the plot. How many stages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Discuss each stage in relation to the novella. So now you need to put these elements back to your points in the previous two slides. So they are there in your handout, and put these things in an order while you read the plot. Next, conflict. What do you mean by conflict? Conflict means a struggle, an inconvenience, a problem between two opposing forces. How many types of conflicts are there? Many. So what type of conflicts do we have in this novella? Two. Social conflict and psychological conflict. What do you mean by social conflict? It is between Kino and the doctor, the pearl buyers, the attackers, the trackers, and even his wife. It is between Kino and the doctor, the pearl buyers, the attackers, the trackers, and even his wife. This is the social. He is not adjusting with the society. So he is not adjusting with the doctor. The doctor has socially, he belongs to somewhat advanced rank of the society. He feels himself superior. The pearl buyers know how much does it cost, but they are all together in cheating the poor pearl seller Kino. The attackers who try to attack and steal the pearl from him, they try to kill him, and the trackers who chased him all the way to the city, who were in return killed by Kino, but unfortunately one of them killed his one and only son Keatito, even his wife. That's why he doesn't deal with her in a harmonious manner after he got this pearl. When she was about to throw the pearl into the sea, he became violently angry. He was beating her heart. It is also between him and the whole community of the villagers who want to have share in the newfound fortune, even the priest. So everybody in the vicinity, everybody in the neighborhood want to have the share of this pearl. That's why Kino has sociological conflict with all of them, including even with his wife, with the priest, with the doctor, with the pearl buyers, with the attackers, with the trackers, with the villagers, with the neighbors, with the people in his village. That means he has socially disconnected with all these characters in this novella, including with his wife. Psychological conflict, this is internal conflict. So you don't find one of your characteristics good. So you have been in struggle or in continuously fight with one of your qualities. You don't like yourself. You find wrong with one of your characteristics. What Kino begins to have doubts about the pearl after he kills a man. When an attacker tried to kill him, in that fight he killed him, then he has doubts against this pearl. He still doesn't admit that to his wife, telling her that he sees bright future for them in the pearl, but what really sees is a killed man, a beaten wife and his son in a bad condition, which is a foreshadowing of what will happen to him. He still doesn't admit means agree, accept, that to his wife, telling her that he sees a bright future for them in pearl. He was saying that he could see the bright future in the pearl, he could see the well-educated son in the near future. He can sell off the pearl and get a quality education to his son. But what he is really seeing in the pearl, He killed a man. He became a murderer. Until now, he was respecting all, but because of the pearl, because of the greed of the pearl, because of greed of having more money, because of greed of having better lifestyle, he killed a man. He has beaten his wife. He has never done this before. When he sees her throwing the pearl into the waters, he becomes violently angry and he beats her. And his son in a bad condition, though he is treated for his scorpion strange, he is not taking care of his son well. And these are all the foreshadowing elements of this novella. Foreshadowing means the writer gives a signal what is going to happen in the future. Foreshadowing, you go out and you look into the sky, you find the black clouds and you say, oh, it's going to rain by the evening. This is foreshadowing element. And or you go into the sky, into the open space, you look into the sky and you say there are the white clouds, it's a clear day, there is no sign of any rain. So this is your foreshadowing technique may be right or wrong, but in the same way the writer gives some clues or hints that will be helping for the readers to guess what is going to happen. So these are the techniques. Next one, flashback. What do you mean by flashback? When Kino was in his way to sell the pearl in the town, his brother told him the story of their fathers when they tried to outwit the pearl buyers by sending one of them with all their pearl to sell them in the capital. But this man never came back. They repeated it another time and then quit. Flashback means you tell something that happened in the past. Now they are all getting ready to go to the pearl buyers to sell their pearl. Here the flashback element is Kino's brother Joanna Thomas tells him a story. What is this story? This is not a story, it is really happened in the past. That their fathers, when they tried to outwit the pearl buyers, they too got a pearl, but they were not able to get good money from the pearl buyers. So they have decided to take this pearl to the city and sell it off. But this man never came back. So they went to sell it, but we don't get any news about their return. They reported it another time and then quit. They repeated it another time and then quit. And the second time also they tried to sell that pearl in the city, but with of no use. And those people who went there to sell, they never come back. That's why now they have decided not to go to any city. Better you sell the pearl to the pearl buyers locally. That means who are there in La Paz in the town. So this is the second technique, foreshadowing. Just now we mentioned you predict something that is going to happen in the coming days. Foreshadowing is a technique used by the writer to give hints or clues about something that happens later in the story. That means while you are reading you keep guessing and the writer gives you some signals, some clues, some hints. That's what is going to happen in the coming pages. Coyotito's name, which means little coyote, points out that what happens to later in the story when he is mistaken for a coyote and killed for that. So he is little, that means he never grows up. He died as an infant. So by naming him Coyotito, the writer gives you a signal, this boy will not remain forever. He will never grow up. In the same way, by the end of the novella, you find him killed by one of the truckers. Jonah says that the pearl is bad and will destroy the family, even our son. Look, she was saying that pearl is a bad thing. It's a sign of an evil. It is the source of the bad things. It may even kill our own son, but it happened finally. Kino sees in the pearl the swollen face of his son. So by the time when he was about to throw the pearl into the waters, he could see the swollen face of his son. Swollen means bulging out. When the person dies, the body becomes bigger and bigger. So the same face of Kino's son Coyotito has appeared in the pearl. These are the foreshadowing elements of this novella. Then setting. What do you mean by setting? Setting means the time, place of the action. So where did this happen and when did it happen? The time and place of the action is called setting. Setting is important for understanding the literary text. We need to know where did it happen and when did it happen. It may be fictitious, but it must have a time frame and it must have a geographical link. The story takes place mainly in a small village in Mexico. Mexico is the name of one of the South American countries or Latin American countries. A small village connected with a small town. And the time is the 19th or early 20th century, where this capitalism is taking place in the place of people are getting controlled by others. That means they are having the control, the foreigners are having the control over them. So it is end of 19th or maybe at the beginning of 20th century. So what is this? Colonization. So colonization, that means people go abroad and they have the control of their land and their culture and their people, and then it may be converted into capitalism. So we need to know about the background, we need to know about the places to understand the text better. So what do you mean by setting? Setting means the time and place of the action. The place is Mexico. In Mexico, where it is in a small place, a small town called La Paz. And what is the time of the sequence of events? It is at the end of 19th or the early 20th century. We don't know exactly the time because of the incidents that are explained. We can assume that it may be the end of 19th or early years of the 20th century. So point of view, who is the narrator? From which source the narration is coming from? First person, second person or third person? So what the narration is trustworthy or not? Can we depend or not? Is it believable or not? So here it is third person omniscient narrator. Omniscient means one who knows everything. Maybe the writer, but the writer is not giving his version directly. It is not in the first person narration, it is in the third person. You is second person, I and I, me, myself, we is the first person, he, she, it and they is the or the third person. So here you have the pronouns, third person pronouns like he, she, it and they. That's why when you are asked the question, what is the point of view of this novel, it is in the third person omniscient point of view. So we have done with the plot, then we are moving to the conflict. After the conflict we discussed two different technical issues or literary devices or elements that could be used for making your text really readable. One is foreshadowing, the other one is a flashback. Then we are moving to the point of view. The next one is the most important thing, characters. Characters are the animals or the human beings or some abstract ideas that are making the story moving. So all the action can't be made into the space, it has to have somebody to perform the action. These things are called, or these people are called as characters. And we have many characters in this novella, but we are going to discuss only the major characters of this novella. The most important, the protagonist of this novella is Kino. So because most of the action moves around this character, we can call it the central character or protagonist. Kino is the story's protagonist. Protagonist means the main character, the dominant character. He is a simple poor pearl diver. He is close to nature and he lives in harmony with it. This is the beginning of the novella. He is having the life of contentment. He is close to nature. He is in the laps of the nature and he lives in harmony. Harmony means good relation with it. He lives on the banks of the river. He goes into the sea and he is a diver. He gets the pearls and sells them and he leads his life comfortably. He loves his family, his village and his people. Everything is positive with him until they have discovered the pearl. He loves his family, that is, he has a small family, his wife and his son, and his village. He loves the people, he knows everybody and he loves his people. He greets them, he used to help them. At the beginning, Kino is content with his life. Content means satisfied. He is comfortable with his life cycles. Before he discovers the pearl, his simple life is rich with the values of love and loyalty. So altogether the life has become changed only by the arrival of this pearl. Before the arrival of the pearl into his life is simple, with rich with values, morals, ethics, mutual respect, contentment and everything. After he finds the pearl, Kino begins to desire material wealth. He becomes greedy, he becomes ambitious. He looks for material wealth, he looks for the money, he looks for the riches, he looks for the comforts, he looks for giving luxuries to his son, and his character gradually declines from the state of innocence to a state of corruption. Declining means falling down. until you touch the pearl. Pearl, you are innocent, now you are losing your innocence. Innocence is replaced by corruption. That means you become greedy. You want to be survived to any extent to have your dream fulfilled. So you didn't even bear the wife when she was throwing the pearl into the waters, and you went to the extent of killing the person who tried to attack you. He gets into conflict with the corrupt world of the doctor, the priest, and the pearl buyers. He had the conflict with everybody in his society, with the pearl buyers, with the priest, with the doctor, with the villagers, with the neighbors, with his own wife, with the trackers, with the attackers, and everybody. The pearl changes his life as it changes his character. Kino's character enlarged as a result of the discovery of the world of evil and great. So we got changed because of the change which is happening around us. It's not an excuse. You need to keep yourself upright in the world of corruption. You need to sustain yourself for the survival of the values and ethics. But unfortunately, he became an evil, he becomes a part of this evil game. It's a vicious circle. As the world is getting corrupted day by day, he too got himself into this circle of corruption. This is Kino. And the next, the second most important character, Joanna. In fact, this is the character who appears even stronger than Kino. Personally, I love this character. The way the writer presented this character is really amazing. She's not weak minded, she is not physically weak, but psychologically, emotionally, she is much stronger than any other characters in this novella. Jonah is Kino's loving and obedient wife. She follows his instructions unscrupulously. She is blindly following his orders. She represents the typical submissive wife who takes care of her husband and son. Her only one uh, aim in the life is to take care of the family, take care of the husband, and take care of the little son. She accepts the traditional role of woman as a man's helpmate. So it is a man chauvinistic society, male chauvinistic society. So man is the head of the family and the wife has to surrender, has to be the assistant of the man, and she accepted this as usual by many of the wives in the world. Jonah refuses to leave her husband even after he killed a man and their house was burnt. She is not a woman who is leaving her husband in trouble. When he was alone, when they got their house burnt, when they got their canoe damaged or destroyed, she was with him in thick and thin, in sun and shower. She followed him wherever he goes. She stays with Kino out of loyalty and love after he beats her for trying to throw away the pearl. She didn't take it personal, even though she was hardly beaten by her husband. When she was about to throw the pearl, he became violently angry and he handled her manually. Even after that, she didn't have any ego, she didn't show any inconvenience to be the wife of the family. She took it positively, she swallowed all the pain. She also refuses to leave Kino when they are running away from the followers who try to find and kill him. When he wanted to go alone and kill the tigers, she didn't leave her husband. In fact, Kino asked them to be safeguarded safely in the cave, but she denied. She followed her husband, and unfortunately, in that fight, one of the trackers aimed his gun and killed Coyote. So, still, we have the characterization of this novella. We are going to have some more angles of this character. That is, Joanna is a brave woman who decides to stay with her husband in time of danger. When her husband is attacked several times, Joanna never shows fear. So he had been attacked again and again. Even the attackers came into the house and they were about to kill him. He was in blood and he got injured severely, but the wife was there to protect him, save him, nurse him, and treat him. Even at this time of horror, she never left him. She never abandoned to go away to some other place. Joanna is a resourceful and has the presence of mind that makes her jump to her son's help when he is stung by the scorpion. So, how logical she is, how psychologically strong the woman is. When she came to know her son got stung by the scorpion, she suggested her husband to take the baby to the doctor. Whereas her husband remains confounded and unable to act. She is quick to suck the poison from Coyotito's shoulder. She is a sensible lady. So she made a wound on the shoulder of the baby and she sucked the poison and threw it off. So this is the way normally people take out the poison from the bodies in a traditional manner. Even she then uses a poultice of seaweed to treat him. See, she gave the treatment to the baby. When the baby was just crying for the pain, she took the baby into the sea. When they were searching for the pearl, she collected some of the weed of the sea and she made it into a paste and she used it to cover the place where it got stung by the scorpion. So she knows the local remedy. She knows how to make the boy free from the poison. She made a hole and she had swallowed all the poison into her mouth. So, how sensible the lady is, how resourceful she is, how brave she is, how strong she is, how loyal she is, how much she values for the family. That's why, in my opinion, the great character of this novella is Joanna, not Kino. Kino is just a man, so he has all the strength. But even though being a woman, she got the strength and she has been a resourceful person, kind person, and a predictable nature she has. And she had been with her husband all through the novella. Joanna is a rebel. She is against the society. She is a revolutionary character. In the face of Kino's reluctance, Joanna insists on fetching the white doctor to tend Coyotito. At the beginning, when the little boy got stung by the scorpion, and he was reluctant. Who was reluctant? Kino was reluctant because they may not treat us. We are the black people, and the doctor is a white person. So they don't like to touch us, they don't like to treat us because we are the poor people. They don't get good amount of money from us. But still she insisted, let us go to the doctor. When the neighborhood came to know that they are going to the doctor, entire neighborhood followed them in a procession. Do you remember? This was the first procession recorded in the novella. Her decision to go to the doctor is so subversive that all the villagers follow the young couple and shun to see how the doctor will receive them. They were all curious. They came to know a person is going to the doctor to get treatment for their son. So the entire neighborhood followed them. She differs with Kino with regard to the pearl. Whereas Kino sees it as a means of changing the family's fortune, Joanna sees it as a source of evil and wants to get rid of it. So she sees the future in it, but Joanna sees the horror in it. So she sensed at the beginning that it is a sign of evil. It casts evil on the family, it may kill even our son. But unfortunately, the same happened throughout the novella. In spite of her devotion to her sorry. In spite of her devotion to her husband, she rebels against his authority when she attempts to throw a pearl back into the sea to save her family. In spite of her devotion to her husband, she got devoted to him, but she rebels against the authority when she attempts to throw the pearl back into the sea to save her family. That's what forcefully, when she was throwing, forcefully Kino took her back and got back the pearl. At the end, when Kino gives her the pearl to throw into the sea, she hands it to him in admission to his manhood and personal dignity. Finally, when he decided to throw back into the waters, he gave it to her. So you suggested earlier to throw it into the water, you do it. No, I'm a wife, you are the head of the family. I respect you as a husband. So as a husband, you have the right to throw it. That means she shows, even in times of trouble, respect and utmost authority to the family, to her husband. She maintains her personal dignity and at the same time she treats her husband much superior to her. So this is the wonderful characterization of this novella. So the strongest character of this novella is Joanna. Then only comes Kino. Then Joanna changes by suffering. At the end of the novel, Joanna walks beside Kino as an equal. As the novel progresses, you find she is not moving at the back of him. So suffering has taught her so many lessons. She is moving beside him. She becomes stronger and less submissive. The shared experience of suffering has made the couple closer and equal. Now he is also realizing his mistakes. He is no more not dealing with her as an inferior one. Now he is giving her equal respect. So this is the way the characters are presented in this novella. What are the remaining characters? So we have discussed two characters. The first one is Kino and the second one is Juana. Then the doctor. The doctor is an important character because he represents the white people who oppress and exploit Kino's people, the native Mexicans. This is called colonization. They occupy your land, they occupy your culture, they dominate, they criticize, they insult, they have control over you mentally, physically, emotionally. The doctor, what is the name of the doctor? It is not important. It is not even mentioned in the novel. He is a white man. Doctor is an important character because he represents the white people. We can't take it as generalization. We can't say all the whites are bad, but here the man who is white in color is bad. Who oppress and exploit Skinos people. They oppress, they just make them as the slaves and they exploit their innocence because they don't know much about the medicine. They don't know about the treatment. Most of them are illiterates. So who are there? The native Mexicans. Who are the native Mexicans? People like Kino and Zuana. He hates Kino's people because they are of different race. He is a racist because their color of the skin is different from the color of the skin of yours. He refuses to meet Kino to treat his baby because he knows that they don't have enough money. More than racism, he has financial discrimination also because he knows that they are the poor people, they can't afford for the treatment. That's why he denied to give them the treatment. At the time when he was inside the house, he sent the message, he was not there. And when he knows about Kino's pearl, he visits him to claim the baby as his patient. He is shameless. So these people are there in each and every society. They need not to be whites or blacks. These people can go down to any level to survive. They may go down to get their things fulfilled to any level. When he came to know that Kino and Joanna got a pearl, he went to their house and he was telling everyone that Coyotito was his patient. But he never visited him, he never treated him before. So this is about the doctor. So these are the important characters. Kino, then we have Joanna, then we have the doctor. These three important characters of this novella. Then theme. What is the theme? What do you mean by theme? Theme means the central idea of the text. What is the focal point in the novella? What is the comment of the writer regarding the life in this novella? So there are many themes. We are going to discuss the major themes in this novella. The most important thing is greed, the greed of man. As Kino seeks to gain wealth through the pearl, he transforms from a happy, contented husband and a father to a savage criminal. As Kino seeks means wants to gain wealth. He wants to become a rich man. He wants to sell the pearl and get lot of money. With that money, he wants to get his son educated. He transforms from a happy. Transforms means changes. Happy and a contented husband and a father. Contented means satisfied. He is leading a comfortable life with a family, with his wife and his one and only child. Now he becomes a savage criminal. Savage means like an animal. You are going down and down, you may be killing the people. He beats his wife because she wants to get rid of the pearl to save the family, and he even kills a man in defense of the pearl. He went to the extent of beating his own wife. He never did it before, but when she was about to throw the diamond, he became violently angry and he was beating, and he went to the extent of killing one of the attackers to save his life or to save his pearl. Furthermore, Kino's greed leads to his son's death. That's why you are not selling the pearl to the pearl buyers in the town, you are taking it all the way to the city. That's why attackers are haunting you, running after you, and in this fight you killed them, but unfortunately you lost your son. So, too much greed is harmful for you, your body, and your family. Greed is the main characteristic of other characters in this novella, not only with Kino, especially the doctor, the priest, the pearl buyers, the attackers, the trackers, all are filled with greed. Even the neighbors, even the villagers, all are filled with greed because people want to get others' money for easily. They take it for granted. They can take it and they can have a luxurious life if they get more and more money. So this is the major theme. What are the other themes in the novella? Racism, racist. That means you feel superior because of the color of your skin. You are born in a race, that means you are special from others. This is stupidity. Nobody is superior, nobody is better than the others. We are better only in terms of humanity when we help each other. But here, the doctor is a racist. The doctor, the pearl buyers, and the priest are not the same race as Kino and the villagers. So, all these people are of native Mexicans, but the doctor, the pearl buyers, the priest are not belonging to the same race. They are the races. They feel themselves superior to them. They take it for granted. They can cheat these innocent, uneducated people. They treat the poor villagers as inferior, inferior means weak, and take advantage of them. The villagers' lack of education also makes the villagers vulnerable to exploitation. Vulnerable means they are subjected to. So they don't know how to read and write, they are not intelligent, they are innocent. So you take it for granted that you can cheat them. Who are cheating them? The doctor, the pearl buyers, the priest. And the doctor refuses to meet Kino and his family because they are poor and because he hates their race. At the beginning, when they brought their son, who got stung by the coyotito, they were not ready to give him the treatment. The priest uses religion to try to convince the villagers and not to try change their position in life because this would be against God's will. The priest uses religion to try to convince the villagers not to try change their position in life because I'm helping you, I'm praying for you, so you need to give me the share of the pearl. Even the priest went to them and he demanded the pearl must be given to him. The pearl buyers cheat the villagers and offer them very little money for their pearls because they don't belong to their race. So they take it for granted, they have the advantage, they are superior, so they can cheat them again and again. So who are the people try to cheat? The native Mexicans, the pearl buyers, the doctor, and the priest. So this is the second major theme of the novella. The first one is greed, the second one is racism. Then symbols. Symbols are used for something else. On the surface they appear something, but inside they would be used for something else. So using symbols is very common in literature. So symbols, for example, you stop your car on seeing the red light. Why? Because it's a sign of danger. It's a sign of threat. It's a sign you must be careful. If you just keep on driving your car, you may be collided with the other cars coming on the opposite direction. So here red is used as a symbol. So in the same way, dove is used as a symbol of peace. So love for rose is used as a symbol of love. So in the same way here there are many symbols in this novella. What are those symbols and what do they represent? The most important thing is the pearl. The pearl is also the title of this novella. The pearl itself is the most important symbol in the novel. The pearl's meaning changes at different times of the novel and for different people. It changes its meaning according to the way you interpret. Over the times, over the incidents, the pearl gets its meaning changed. At the beginning, the pearl is a symbol of beauty. They got admired. Everybody admires it. Admires means loves it. And everybody sees it as a perfect object of natural beauty. Oh, they are all amazing. Oh, wonderful. It looks so beautiful at the beginning. But when you know that it is expensive, it's the most valuable one. But it also has a material value. For everybody, the pearl becomes a symbol of financial worth. I need to have it. I need to grab it. If I have this pearl, I will be the richest man in the world. Kino wants to sell it to get the money. Kino wants to sell it to get the money for his son's education. So he can see it not as a beautiful object, he wants to see it as a source of the money. So by selling it, you will become richer and richer. So you can give education, best of the education to your son with your money. Kino wants to sell it to get the money for his son education. The pearl becomes a symbol of hope, the hope of Kino wants to sell it to get the money for his son education. The pearl becomes a symbol of hope, the hope of a better future. So it guides you, it takes you to the new life. But what actually happens, it is all types of bad things, but unfortunately it turned the other way around. A series of disasters happened to Kino and his family. Disasters means failures, failure after failures. When you see it as a bright object, it is resulted in bad things again and again. Kino is attacked several times in search of the pearl. People are attacking him again and again in the hope of getting it. And his relation with his wife suffers. He went to the extent of beating her. Their house is burned and Kino's canoe destroyed. Look how it has got connected with so many disastrous things. At the beginning, it's a sign of hope. At the beginning, it's a symbol of beauty. But now it has been connected with as a symbol of disasters, evil things. The pearl becomes a symbol of destruction, which was clear for Joanna before Kino came to believe her. Only after the final catastrophe happens to them. Catastrophe means the final failure. What is the final catastrophe? That is the killing of Coyotito. When their own and only bad son, only baby Coyotito is killed. That's why it has an evil cast. It's a sign of bad things. It may ruin our son also. But what she predicted at the beginning of the novel had unfortunately got fulfilled. It became a reality by the end of the novella. So here it keeps on changing its form, it keeps on changing its messages, and it keeps on having its own interpretation according to the people it interprets about it. This is the first symbol of the novella. What is it? The pearl. The next one, the scorpion. At the beginning of the novella, we come across the scorpion. The scorpion is a symbol of evil in almost all the literature, in almost all the languages in the world, in almost all the cultures of the world. It's a sign of evil. Evil means bad. The scorpion's poison which spreads in the baby's body parallels the spread of another kind of poison, the poison of evil that spreads among people of the community. The poison spreads in the body of the little boy, but at the same time the poison, that is the greed, spreads among the community. It spreads violently throughout the people. When Kino discovers the pearl, everybody becomes interested in getting his share of the find. So everybody is asking his share in the finding of the pearl. This is the poison. What is that poison? Greed. The poison, the scorpion has physical appearance, but the greed is having its psychological appearance in the minds of the people. People don't see the pearl as Kino's, it is everybody's pearl. Even he got it, they are claiming that they must have the share of it. Even though it belongs only to him, because they become greedy, they are looking for the share of the pearl from each and every corner of the village. Greed and envy are the social position that spreads everywhere and kills people's souls. In the same way as the scorpion's poison kills the bodies. Look, greed and envy. You envy others. When people are having the pearl, you feel jealous of them and you want to grab it. Or the social poison that spreads everywhere and kills people's souls. Like the poison that kills the human body, these things are spreading inside the soul fast. And in the same way as the scorpion's poison kills the bodies. So this is the second symbol, and we have the last symbol of this novella. By this we can wind up our lecture. What is it? The canoe. Canoe is the man-made boat, the boat that could be used to swim across the waters. And canoe is used by Kino and Joanna to get the pearls in the sea. Canoe is a symbol of tradition. That means it passes from ages to ages. Kino's canoe is a family heritage. You didn't make it. You get it from your parents and they got it from their parents. It has become a legacy. It has been passed from one generation to another. That means you carry the heritage to the coming generations. These are called the values, ethics, morals, that what you need to carry to the people who come after you. He got it from his father and his father got it from his father. What is it? Canoe. It's a sign of tradition. The pearl makes people less content with their simple lifestyles and more interested in material possessions. Less content. Content means satisfied. But you are not happy with the pearl. You are not happy with the canoe, you are looking for the pearl. The pearl makes people less content with their simple lifestyle. When you sell this pearl, you need not to go buy canoe. You get lot of money. With that money, you can buy anything in this world. and more interested in material possessions, physically what they are appearing before you, such things you will be looking for. The old traditional values of simple life give way to a new craving of material gain. We keep on changing. We got attracted to the new things again and again. When something new comes, we want to possess it, we want to have that thing with us. This is craving for the material property. We need the houses, we need the cars, we need the mobile phones, we need the gadgets, we want to have more jewelry. These are all the material properties. The canoe's destruction becomes thus a symbol of the destruction of a way of living. You just destroyed the canoe. It is not just a canoe, you destroyed the way the people live. You destroyed the way how you survive. So how can they go back into the waters? An emergence of a new one. Now you are compelled to go into a new journey. That's why you go on foot and you try to go to the city and sell the pearl, but unfortunately you lost your son. You couldn't do that. You came back and you threw the pearl into the waters again. So this is the dramatic ending of this novella. So these are the two symbols. We discussed totally three symbols of this novella: the pearl, the scorpion, and the canoe. What did we do in this lecture? We have discussed the summary, the final summary of the novella. Then we move to the plot structure of the novella, the exposition, rising in action, climax, falling in action, and denouement. Then after that, we discussed the conflict. Without conflict, there is no plot. Without plot, there is no story. And what are the conflicts we have? We have two types of conflict: social conflict and psychological conflict. And how they are represented? They are represented by various literary techniques. What are the two techniques employed here? One is flashback, the other one is foreshadowing. And then we came to the characterization. We discussed the three important characters in this novella. What are they? Kino, Zuana, and the doctor. Then we focused on the main themes of the novella. There are many themes in this novella, but which focused only the major themes. The first one is the greed, the second one is racism. Then we came back to the symbols. There are three symbols that we focused. There are many symbols. The most important symbol is the title, the pearl, then the scorpion, which is a symbol of evil, and finally the canoe, the symbol of tradition and destruction. So that's all. This is the end of your media lecture 4. So we will meet again after 1 week in media lecture 5. Please be active on the forum. I gave you the materials that what you need to get them printed and what you need to prepare for your exams, and all the materials are uploaded on the forum. Please go to them. If you have any questions, any doubts, please write to me on the forum and take part in the discussions, and you need to write to me back what is asked in the discussion, and please listen to the media lecture again and again, and whenever you have a doubt you just pause it, go back, that means you rewind it and play it again. And I have shared my email id and phone number with you. If you still have any questions, and please write to me, or else you can call me anytime. I am available 24 by 7 anytime, any day of the week. And if you still want to meet me personally, I will be available in my office during my office hours from Sunday to Thursday in Arts and Science College, Abu Arish. So please call me prior and you can take my appointment and you can meet me anytime. If you want to have a lecture with me, I am always ready to give you a lecture physically to you also in a classroom. So don't worry about the materials, don't worry about the exams. I will teach you everything, I will give you ample time, I will explain everything what you are supposed to write in the exams. So even though my lecture is fast, it doesn't mean that I am running fast, because it's a media lecture. I don't have interaction with you. If it is a virtual lecture, I can interact with you, I can give you answers, I can make myself tuned according to your requirements. But unfortunately this is recorded and uploaded. That's why I request you, while you are listening to the lecture, please use your headphones or earphones and keep your handout with you. So make it rewinding, playing and forwarding again and again whenever, wherever you have the doubts. And what are the points we are discussing in the handout, so what we stress on them, please underline them, so those things will be focused in your exams as well. Thank you for being with me. Thank you, my dear students. Thank you for listening to my lecture. Thank you for your time. Have a nice time. Take care. Take care of yourself. Take care of your families, and take care of your health. Drive slowly and reach your home safely wherever you are. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. That's all today.